Hi everybody, it's Chatty Sparkly Runners here. We're actually back at home this week after our lovely holiday in Wales, and we had a really good response from last week's video on sparkly running, and we did promise you that we would carry on this week and give you a little bit more information, but we are going to start our track sessions next week, so we thought it'd be a good opportunity to actually film some groups doing their sparkly bits, didn't we, Colin?
Yeah,
so that much easier to show how to run your sparkly bits with a group.
If we can get them to.
If we can get them to do it.
Yeah. Or no, they'll be able to do it. It's whether they want to be filmed or not.
Whether they want it filmed. Yeah. Okay.
But they will be.
Yeah. So instead, something a little bit different this week. That was your idea, Colin. What was your idea?
So we've been working a lot on Zoom with international coaches and Olympians talking, and this week, and we've been giving it a lot of thought one way and the other about what do runners really need to know. And so I thought, having given it a great deal of thought over the years, the top 3 things that all runners need to know.
There's been a lot of that on Facebook lately, hasn't there?
Yeah. There has been. So,
top 5 things for beginner runners, top 10 things you need to know. Well, these are Chatty Sparkly top 3, and they're already...
but they're up for everybody, really,
Yeah.
for whatever ability you are, whether you're an Olympic athlete or whether you're just starting out.
Same top 3 things.
Yep.
Okay, fire away.
Okay, so number 1 is you've got to know what pace you're running at and why you're running at that pace. So if you set off for your run and you've no idea what speed you're going at or why you're going at that speed, you're on a bit of a rocky road to nowhere. So that's really the reason behind Chatty Sparkly Running. You need to know your pace and you need to know why you're running at that pace. And so Chatty Running, we started Chatty Running so that people could know their pace, so that they know that they've got to talk.
And anybody that's watching us for the first time, if you have a look at some of our other videos, we talk a lot about Chatty Running. Yeah,
it's talking comfortably in full sentences without even a at the end of the sentence. And so that you know that Chatty Running is good for you, and all the adaptations that you need happen at a gentle running speed for starting out. And the Olympic athletes that we talk to, they all do a vast amount of chatty running. They might not call it chatty running, they might call it steady running or gentle running or comfortable running or easy running, but they do a lot of chatty running.
A quick mention, because we've had a few questions, haven't we, today, about using the heart rate on Garmin's, trying to
and the zones.
Find your chatty pace, zones and heart rates. What's your take on that?
Well, I have put a couple of answers to things on the Facebook page, but first of all, if you have a heart rate monitor that works off your wrist, they're fine if you're sitting still, but when you're moving, they're pretty much not fit for purpose. And then, so you have to have a chest band, and you have to do that. Then you have to know what your heart rate is, and 220 minus your age.
Your maximum heart rate is, you need to know.
Well, no, your resting heart rate and your maximum heart rate. And then you can work out what your heart rate zones are.
It's about 3 or 4 videos on its own, I think that.
Yeah, there is the Carvonen formula, which you can look up and which is on our Facebook page. I don't want to go there today because we're moving away from what we need to do. Yeah. But it's a really hot day today, and we were talking to Greg McMillan, who's one of America's top coaches. And Greg, who works in Colorado, says in the summer he just ignores heart rate monitors because it's so hot and humid. When you're hotter, your heart rate's working more. So
there's so many things that affect your heart rate.
It's so much better to go for feel. Rather and work from the inside, having a feeling-based attitude, than it is to look at an external thing on your wrist. And I just don't like running along looking at my wrist every 90 seconds. Just go out there and enjoy the view. Don't look at...
So
if most of the run is your view of your wrist, really you should be learning how to run and what pace to run at.
Yeah. So that's number 1, isn't it? Knowing your pace.
Yeah, well, there are faster paces, but you've got to learn how to put them in later. But for most people, Chatty Running is the foundation for everything and will get you much quicker.
Yeah. So what's number 2 then?
Number 2 is, once you know what pace to go at and why you're going at it, so Chatty Running is the best pace to go at because all the adaptations that you need, which we went into on a previous video, happen at that gentle pace. Then you need to know how much to increase your training by. Because it's not how fast you go, it's how much you do. So you need to know how to increase the amount of training that you're doing.
Without overdoing it.
Without,
that's really common, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Most people will try to increase too much.
Which is understandable, because they love their running,
yeah,
and they just want to do more and more.
Yeah. So
and doing more is the way to improve, but
how much more do you do? Well, that's again, that's the $1 million question, but it's something we can answer in another video. But the opposite is that if you don't increase the amount of running you do, after 5 or 6 weeks, your body will get used to that. Will say, "Oh, I'm happy with this. This is fine. I can do this all the time," and you won't gain fitness because you're not doing any more. So,
I mean, you might be happy with that.
Yeah,
there
are
are some people that
more than happy
just running 3 times a week and
keeping healthy, keeping stress at bay, and having a great time. That's fine.
That's fine.
But if you want to get faster, ultimately there's a stage where you need to do more. But knowing how much more to do is crucial, and you need to build up really gradually.
I think people don't realise how gradual that needs to be.
Well, look at the Walk to Run programme. Is that gradual?
Oh, it's very gradual.
Yeah.
Half a kilometre a week for me.
Yeah. So 500 metres extra a week, but it's amazing how quickly that builds up over 3 months or so.
Yep, it works.
So don't be tempted to do too much. And then the third one is, again, it's a feeling-based response. So the feeling-based is knowing that you're running Chatty. The feeling-based is knowing when it's time to do a bit more. And the feeling base is equally as important, is knowing when you've recovered. So you need to know when you've recovered and when you're ready to go again, because what happens is when you run, you'll tire your body to a certain extent and you won't be able to do the same again, and your body will recover, it will get stronger, and it's called super compensation. Your body gives you back more than you put in.
I think a lot of people don't realise that it's not actually when you're out running
that you get fitter.
It's in that time after you get home and have your cup of tea, and your glass of wine, whatever you want. And it's the few days after that are actually building your fitness.
And
that's where people make their mistakes, and they want to do more and more, don't they? So they don't let themselves recover.
So you've got to know when you've recovered. When your walk to runners first start out, they can do 1 run a week.
They can make a lot of progress on just one run a week.
So they run a week, but it's quite a big stimulus to them.
Yeah.
And then they take 6 days to recover and get stronger. But then after 4 or 5 weeks, they really need to add a second run.
I tend to say, about 4 weeks, they can add a second run.
And they're strong enough.
But I encourage them to walk in those first few weeks.
Okay, so they're walking and getting stronger, and because walking will help recovery.
You don't need to run 3 times a week to start with, definitely.
No, so they're the 3 things.
Yeah.
Is know what pace you're going at, know how to build your running up, and know when to recover. And
all of those things, I think we can do a lot more information on.
Yeah. But they're vital. They're
really important things.
I've said, coming back to Facebook, that I don't know what your Facebook thread's like, people out there, but mine is full of people offering a magic bullet because runners get injured. All runners are injured. The reason why you're injured is because of this, that, or the other, and you pay me some money and I'll give you the magic bullet to stop you being injured. Well, I've been tutoring across the country for over 10 years, and I've asked that question to thousands of people, and anybody that's been running a long time will tell you the reason why you get injured is because of 2 things. Number 1, you've built up too quickly, or number 2, you've not had enough of recovery before you've started again. That's what makes the second and third thing that I've gone through today so important.
Yep.
Sparkly next week,
hopefully.
Website's going nicely.
Yeah.
Have you got any of my interviews on the website?
Facebook group, Instagram, it's all up there. I'm getting used to it gradually.
More people are asking nice questions on the
Facebook
Facebook group.
Questions.
That's great.
Yeah, but we're definitely going to do a bit more on the Sparklies next week.
Okay.
And introduce, hopefully, some Chatty Sparkly runners from Shrewsbury.
Yeah, that's good. I'll see you next week.